Okay, so this is for John, number 29. In this case over here, we can see in our MPR. Let's move over here. You can see mental foramen is right below. Zoom in on this sucker. Ideally, a patient like this, I'm talking about ortho with them and recording that conversation. I record all of my larger treatment plan consultations for my progress notes, as well as just medical legally, making sure that we've discussed everything thoroughly. I think this is a patient that orthodontics could absolutely benefit him, but you know, adults at the end of the day, I mean, we do live in the real world and they're not always interested in doing everything. And so they're just trying to do what they need to do to fix the problem that they have in that moment. And that's what we're here for as well. So let's go here and let's pick our Neodent implant. And we'll go to our GM line. And let's find, for premolars, ideally, I like a 4 or a 4.3 by 10 or 11 and a half. Let's see what we're working with. 4.3, 11 and a half. We'll do click point, which means you can just click right in here. And let's go to the sagittal, drag that sucker up. You can see previous extraction site. And most likely than not, that 11 is a little too close. This is approximately where this guy is going to go. So let's change our size. And we'll go to a 10. Okay, 4 by 10. Let's see what that looks like. So when I look at a site like this, we're going to scroll through, we're going to see there's most likely going to be a defect here, and we'll curate that out thoroughly. Super thick cortical bone on the lingual, thin on the buccal, mental foramen right underneath. And we're in a safe zone at a 4 by 10. Of course, we're going to drill a little deeper. The 50-50 protocol here is going to be paramount, as well as keeping it as lingual as possible. But when the cortical bone is this thick, when we come in with our lance burr, we're going to come in here. And then every subsequent drill, I would run it at high speed and I would sink the drill here into this bone to try to push lingually every single time. So drill in here, and then the next time drill in over here, because the threads of this implant are not going to thread into the bone here. It's just going to get pushed buccally. And so if we don't countersink into this thick lingual bone, this tooth or this implant's going to end up buccal, which is going to end up closer to the nerve. So lingual is going to have us be more protected from mental proximity, as well as protect against this buccal defect. And then when the drill comes out at 50-50 without any irrigation on it, that also is going to allow me to harvest autogenous bone from the flutes in the drill. And then I'll take that autogenous bone and pack it right in there. So lots of benefits from the 50-50 protocol. Plus on top of that, I'm not going to drill as deep and as fast. So controlled drilling depths around vital structures is also part of it. Now let's look at it from an axial perspective, make sure our angulation next to these roots is going to be appropriate, and we're still okay. Most of these roots, when you look at the panos, they usually come a little bit further buccal. They don't usually tip lingual. And then we're going to be in a safe space here, safe space here. If anything, I could potentially move this guy over just a little bit if it wants to cooperate. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just tip it ever so slightly. And then if you're doing it guided, go for it. If you're doing it freehand, I think this is a very predictable freehand case, I would mark it as moderate, just because at the end of the day, root proximity, defect, mental nerve location, and the fact that I need a countersink. The lingual just needs a couple of different modalities of how to approach it versus just drilling a hole and placing an implant.